Yeah, welcome to the small tutorial concerning sandblasting of rainbow stone. So here you can see how we start with the design. Then we print out the artwork black and white. You can see the artwork really high dense black, and that's the result. But this video is all about how to achieve this result. So here we are working with the SR2000 from Rayzist. SR2000 is non-self-adhesive. The thickness of the film is 6 mil because we want to sandblast a little deeper. So we are not talking today about halftone engraving or whatever. So we are talking about deep engraving on a rainbow hard. So rainbow is a stone material. It's pretty brittle and rough, and I chose this material just to show you how to color and fill the engraving later on, and to show also what's important and what not. So now we're exposing the material for 12 seconds with UV light. So all materials hidden by UV light will turn into a sandblasting resistant plastic. Everything else below the ink, below the black printed artwork, behaves like a soap. Here you can see nothing, so the material will not change in color after exposure. Now we put this material into an auto washer. For sure you can wash by hand, so you can take a hand sprayer. So we are producing a little more, that's why we have the industrial unit. Now we are washing the film, so we develop the film with water, simple water. It's heated for sure, so it's hot water. And it will take about 2 minutes, so I will shorten the video a little bit. You can see the rotating drum. The spraying nozzles are on top, and now you will see how the developed film will look like. So the developed material will turn into clear areas, so the design will clear up. So the blue material, the blue emulsion is gone because it's not hardened with UV light. So you can see the design is completely washed out, so there are no blue areas, light blue areas, nothing. It has turned into transparent areas, so here you can see it's transparent like clear plastic. That's the way it should look like, not anything else. So now we put it on a little tray. So I have a film dryer. So you put the plastic side on the tray and put it into the drying units. So it's warm air which will go over the film, and the SR2000, as I explained, is not self-adhesive. So here I spray on the RZ3 adhesive with a very expensive paint pistol. So, and if you are starting with it, there is also RZ2 available, which you can apply with a foam roller. So here you can see, after drying the adhesive, I cutted the stencil just to align it a little bit better. And now you will see how tacky it is. So, but also flexible. So that's also important because the heart is pretty three-dimensional. So it's a curved material, and now we have to align the mask and to avoid wrinkles. So the material itself with the plastic sheet on top is not very flexible. So that's the reason why we have to remove the plastic layer on top now. So here you can see it's a little tricky on such a curved material to remove the plastic sheet, but you will see what I mean later on. It takes a while, especially when you have as big fingers as I have. So here we go. So remove the plastic And pay attention to it that you don't put any wrinkles into the design. So the wrinkles can be outside in the film material, in the blue areas. There is no problem, but please avoid that you have wrinkles in the design. So take your fingers and pay attention that you remove all the wrinkles. You see now it's really flexible and easy to work with. Now I take my thumb just to roll it a bit over the design to form the material and to stretch the material a little bit so that we remove all the wrinkles, because wrinkles will cause a problem while sandblasting. It's like a tunnel, and if you put pressurized air into a tunnel, so the film will blow up and will rip off the areas and of the material, and that's not what we want. So now you can see here it's really structurized, bellied, and it's three-dimensional. It's not a plate, yeah, like you see on a lot of videos. They were just working on plates, and yeah, that's easy. But if you have such a big piece of stone, pretty curvy, that's not that easy, but it works. So now I remove all the air bubbles. So there is still a little membrane on it, and the clear areas, they are mostly there are some air bubbles in it, and the brush roller was just to remove the air bubbles and to fix it on the stone. Here I'm sandblasting with about 60 psi and a really small nozzle, so very aggressive with aluminum oxide 150 mesh. 150 mesh is the best material from my point of view to work later on with color. You can work fine detail, but you can work very aggressive on the material, so you are very fast you achieve very fast certain depths in the material, especially on this rainbow material. It's behaving like sandstone, so it's engraved very fast. You're very fast in depth. That's what we need also for the color. It's also important to have a certain distance to the material itself. Don't put the nozzle too close to the film, because that will increase the chance that you blow off the material. So the blue sandblasting, the photoresist itself from the stone, and that would be bad. So take a little time, a bigger distance to the material, and work safe. So that's it. So that was real time. That was not shortened. You see how deep it is? So that's exactly the reason why I really like to work with a pressure pot system, because you can etch so fast deeply into the material. With a siphon system, no chance. Now we come to color infill. So there are different products on the market for stone. I don't like this color, and I will show you why. Because it will bleed out into the sandstone itself. Even if you have a mask on it, the paint goes into the material and will bleed into the structure, so it's not very sharp etched. How you can prevent it is that you at first take a clear coat, fill the engraving with a clear coat, and then go onto it with the color itself. So, and you will see it later on in the engraving that there is a little bleeding. I mean, you can read it. It's a really very fine detailed letter and text type, and but it could be better. But that's a tutorial. I just want to show you what you can do, how to increase the quality, how you can work with the colors. For sure, you can also take spray paint. So car paint from a spray can. That's what you can take also. And here I have like the people which are working with plated metal. So it's acrylic, and so I coat at first. It's like a clear coat. I coat at first the engraving, and then I have the pigment itself. So a very nice fine powder. You can get it in really every color for very low amount of money. And from my point of view, that's the best to make color infills. So at first take a clear coat, so like a resin, 2K resin, and then you can put the powder, the pigment, directly on the clear coat. So, and that will be combined when I take a little brush later on, and then I press the pigment into the clear coat, and that's really fixed. So this resin will dry very fast. So it's a 3-hour resin, which is especially made for this kind of work. So you can see that you can increase the density. You can play a little bit like a painter. That looks really nice. It looks much better than any spray painted stuff. It's not too thick. It's you see the engraving, the structure of the stone, and it's not really filled. So you have just a pigment laying on the resin. So now, after a certain time of drying, for sure I didn't wait for hours because I made this video. So I removed just the film itself. You can see the SR2000 is pretty strong in itself, so you can remove it easily. And you don't need to be afraid that the adhesive will stick on the stone, which you have sprayed on the SR2000 at first. You will remove for sure the adhesive together with the film, so you have no residues or anything else left on the stone. I'll remove with a sharp knife some little parts of the film, so you can see how easy it is to remove that stuff. And the result is really perfect, that sharp edged. So with the clear resin at first, together with the pigment, it looks much better than if you're working with a thinned color or with spray paint. It always depends also on the material itself. If you work on glass, there can't bleed anything out, or if you work on granite, which is pretty dense too, there is nothing bleeding out. But if you're working on marble or sandstone, then the risk is given that the color will bleed into the material itself. And that's the reason why I'm showing up with this stuff. Yeah, that's it. That was a tutorial how to work on sandstone or like on rainbow, and how to sandblast and how to color infill. Yeah, many thanks for listening, and I will hope I hope that we keep into contact, or will have contact someday. Thank you.